You know, the struggle is real. It's not a joke. It might be funny to you guys, but you know what? It's rifle season. Everybody and their grandma's out there killing big bucks. Us bow hunters were out there all archery season, ain't kill a damn thing. I ain't been doing nothing in the tree stand but killing like 20 packs of Little Debbie's Christmas trees. You know, and the other day, I went and tried those bibs on that I got a killer deal on last year, and ooh, that fit was tight, man. That zipper wasn't going up and them buttons was busting. So what did I do? I had to get up off the floor, brush myself off, and take that hit like a man. I got a good one for you guys because we're gonna talk about broadheads and why you should choose that broadhead, and last but not least,
social media influence.
Now, before I even get into any of that, as you can see, I'm here at my workstation doing what I love and editing the video that you are now watching. How cool is that? All right, now what you guys came here for, broadhead talk. Yay! So here's the thing. This is the lowdown nitty gritty about broadheads. There is no secret recipe. I mean, you got all kinds of fixed heads, mechanical heads, hybrid heads. There is definitely not a shortage when it comes to broadheads. And I truly do believe that there is a broadhead out there for every hunter. Now, when you're trying to decide on a certain broadhead, obviously you want to pick a broadhead that is not only proven, it's reliable, it's durable. There's a lot of good feedback out there on it, whether that be on the internet, at your pro shop. But you definitely want to choose a broadhead that people have actual experience using on actual animals and not just a still object in their yard. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for tinkering and testing a broadhead on stuff in your yard, the range, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you want to go by what that broadhead has done on an actual animal, because that is a big deal. So the first thing that I look for when getting new broadheads, when I open that package, I want those broadheads to be razor sharp straight out of the package. I don't mean those cheap, paper thin, flimsy blades like them cheap China knockoff heads that are on Amazon. And I'm not bashing Amazon by any means, or anybody that shops on Amazon, because I do as well. I think the whole world does. But when purchasing a broadhead that you're gonna shoot at an actual animal, you wanna make sure those blades are sharp and they are durable, believe me. And I cannot stress enough how important all of that is that I just said when you decide to choose on whatever broadhead it is to shoot this year or next year, because ultimately you're relying on that broadhead to shoot the animal that you're going for to hopefully go through, because you don't want it to stick in the animal. That's not good. That's a topic for another video. Believe me, a pass-through is just better every single time. I mean, come on. We owe it to the animals to go out there with a broadhead that is not only razor sharp, but it is solid. It's got a good, robust tip. You know, it's proven, and we just know in the back of our heads a bad shot could happen, but if it does, at least I have a broadhead that can make up for a poor shot, or if I get caught up in the moment because our heart rate gets elevated. You know, you could punch the trigger. We all do it. We're human beings. We're flawed. It happens. So when you're putting your trust into that broadhead and your hard-earned money, you want to make sure you got something that's going to get the job done, especially when you're out there hunting. Yo, seriously, just be honest with me. Are you bored of the broadhead talk yet? I mean, come on, be honest. I'm only kidding. So anyways, you know, a lot of people also ask, is that broadhead fill point accurate right out of the package? Here's the thing about that whole fill point accuracy that you see in a lot of broadhead packages. If your bow is not properly tuned, I don't care what broadhead you shoot. If that bow is not tuned correctly, none of them broadheads are gonna hit right with your fill points, believe me. And when I say tuned properly, I don't mean going to the pro shop, handing that bow to the technician, letting him or her shoot through paper. Then they give you the bow back, you rush home to shoot at the range or in your yard just to find out your arrows are flying like noodles still and your broadheads are not hitting with your fill points. You know, I really don't mean to sound repetitive, but you gotta tune your bow when it comes to fill point accuracy with broadheads. There's no cutting corners. You can't cheap out when it comes to this stuff, especially broadheads, because I noticed in one of my other videos, a lot of people in the comments said, oh, mechanical junk, overpriced, and blah, blah, blah. That couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, look around you. It's 2024. Everything is overpriced. And why would you want to cheap out on the one thing that you're putting your trust and faith in to go on the front of the arrow that you're going to shoot at an actual animal? That just doesn't make sense to me. You do not want to cheap out when it comes to broadheads. Really though, I mean, think about that. I challenge you guys. Look at everything that you spend money on, you know, your camo, your bow, arrows, optics, everything. All that stuff adds up. So when you say, oh, those mechanicals are overpriced or whatever type of broadhead that is, that's nonsense. And the fact that people are out there still saying that mechanicals are junk, they fail, they break, is just straight up nonsense. I mean, there's a lot of guys, good hunters out there that have had a lot of success with mechanical broadheads. I'm telling you, any broadhead can fail. I don't care what it is. But you know what? At the end of the day, we got to do our part to make sure none of that happens. And I get it. Things can happen. It's bad luck. Or it's a simple case of shit happens, right? And that is definitely not a reason to blame that broadhead because you didn't tune your bow. You don't have the properly built arrow, which leads me to my next point. You gotta make sure you got a proper built arrow, correct spine, it's squared up, it's spine aligned, it's properly fletched, because if you don't have any of that, I don't care what your setup is or what broadhead it is, it's not going to fly with your fill points, believe me. All right, I think that's enough of the broadhead talk, right? I mean, we could go on this subject for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and so on, but I don't want to bore you guys. And now we're going to talk about social media influence. Here's the thing, social media is great. I go on there as well. There's a lot of good videos out there. You can really network, you know, you can grow your brand, but you gotta be on the lookout for the negative, the bad, because they're only showing you the good. Trust me, you gotta really understand some of the stuff that you're watching, they may or may not have your best interest. So don't get discouraged when you're seeing some of these videos, because I can tell you honestly, they're only showing you the good footage, not the behind the scenes, you know, all the costs, the frustration, you know, the breaking stuff, the testing products. There's a lot that goes on, you know, that we don't really see as consumers / bow hunters, just everyday people. So you really got to take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's all bad, because there is a lot of good out there. John Lusk is one of them, you know, when it comes to broadhead testing. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, but check out his videos. He's very thorough and he's a good guy, and he's harvested a lot of animals with a bunch of different broadheads. So yeah, if you're somebody, you really like social media, you know, you want to grow your brand, you want to network, that's great. But I'm telling you, just be on the lookout, because there's a lot of PETA eyes out there, a lot of Karens that want to destroy hunting. They really do hate us. They're very despiteful, hateful people, and they'll do anything to rip the hunting community apart. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up the video. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching from start to finish, hopefully, because that helps me. And I can't stress it enough, hit the like button, turn all notifications on, and if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because when you guys do all of that, it helps me move up in the algorithm, which is super important. I can't stress that enough. Remember, go out there, treat others how you want to be treated, teach someone how to shoot a bow, pass on the knowledge, and hunt ethically and responsibly, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.